Hello guys, I hope that you guys are fine and doing great. In our previous video, we have discussed in detail IAS 8 accounting policies, estimates and errors with you. If you have listened to that video, it will help you, enable you to understand all the concepts covered in IAS 8, and it will make it convenient for you to apply it whether you are a student, whether you are applying it in a practical scenario. So before moving forward, if you have not already listened to a video related to IAS 8, then you guys should go back, listen to that video, listen it fully. If there are any questions, you can always post in the comment section. We are always happy and glad to help you guys. The topic which we are going to cover today is IAS 10. IAS 10 covers the events that occur between the end of the reporting year but before the date financial statements are authorized for issuance and circulation to stock exchange, SECP, shareholders, and other stakeholders. So, guys, listen to our video till the end. We will help you understand the concept covered in IAS 10 in a very easy and understandable manner. Our objective is to help you guys understand the accountancy, financial management, business management, cost accounting, auditing, taxation, and all the relevant concepts. We are here to help you guys. All our notes, all our videos are, of course, free of cost. You can always post your queries in the comment section of our videos. We are always there to help you guys, and you can always write me an email, and my email ID is mentioned here. It's hamzaicap110@gmail.com. I will be glad to hear from you guys. Please keep us posted and keep us engaged. Thank you. So let's start. Guys, first of all, let's review what is the objective and scope of IAS 10. IAS 10 basically provides guideline guideline about what? About accounting treatment for events that occur between end of reporting period and the date financial statements are authorized for issuance. IAS 10 basically classifies these type of events into two types, and the accounting treatment depends on the classification of the event. So if you understand the criteria of classification, then you will be able to apply the guideline given in the standard in the appropriate manner while preparing financial statements of the company. So friends, there are two categories defined by IAS 10. One is adjusting event and the other is non-adjusting event. We need to understand the criteria which defines and which classifies these events into these two types. Before moving forward, if you have not already subscribed to our channel, please subscribe so that whenever we post our new video, you are automatically notified about it. We are here to help you guys. We are here to make accountancy and related concepts easier for you, and all our trainings and all our videos are free of cost. Listening to our videos will not only enable you to understand all the concepts, we will help you pass your ACCA, your ICAP, or whatever body you are studying for. We will help you pass your exams. Listening to our videos will make it easier for you guys to understand all those concepts and then to apply them in the examiner test you. And we will be happy when through our help, through listening our videos, you gain success in your exams. So let's move ahead. Adjusting events. These are the events that occur between the end of reporting period but before authorization of financial statements, and these events basically provide further information. Further information about what? About conditions that existed at at end of reporting period. So any event that basically provides you further information about any condition that was existing at the end of the reporting period is an adjusting event. What is the treatment of an adjusting event? The name itself explains it. It will require adjustment in the financial statements. What is the example? For example, there was a legal case filed against your company at the end of the reporting period, and before the authorization of financial statement, the decision for the legal case comes. So it basically is providing you information about the legal case that was existing at the end of the reporting year. And as it is providing you information about event that existed at the end of the reporting period, it is an adjusting event, and when it is an adjusting event, it will require adjustment in the financial statements. What is the second type? The events that occur between the end of the reporting period but before financial statements are authorized for issue. But these events do not require adjustment. Why? Because they provide information about conditions that did not existed at the end of the reporting period. So what you need to judge when you are evaluating an event, whether the event is providing information about any condition that was existing at the end of the reporting period. If yes, it is an adjusting event, you need to adjust your accounts. If no, then it is not an adjusting event, but you will need to disclose in your financial statements. And what you need to disclose is the nature of the event and the impact on financial statements. Or if the reliable estimate cannot be made, it needs to be disclosed that the financial impact cannot be determined at this point of time. What is an example? Dividends that are announced before financial statements are authorized for issuance basically provide us information about events, about conditions that did not exist at the end of the reporting period. So they are disclosed, they are a part of notes to the accounts, but they do not require adjustment in financial statements. Dividend must be disclosed in notes to financial statements. Guys, coronavirus. Coronavirus became a global emergency in the start of year 2020 that have impacted many lives. The governments and health authorities have taken initiatives to help protect the health of their communities, of the people, and as a result, economic activities were curtailed down. It had a negative impact on the business. The business activity was slowed down, which might have triggered impairment losses, expected credit losses for entities. Now, if you are an accountant, if you are preparing financial statement, what you need to determine that what is the period, what is the reporting year end. Are you preparing financial statement for 31 December 2019, or are you preparing accounts for 31st March 2020 or 30th June 2020 is your year end? Then, when you will keep the end of the reporting period in light, then you will judge whether these events which have occurred in 2020 are covered under IS 10. They will be if your financial statement, if your reporting period ended on 31 December 2019. And then you need to consider what is the appropriate accounting treatment, whether you need to disclose them or whether you need adjustment. If you're preparing accounts for 31 December 2019, these conditions did not existed at that time. Hence, this event only requires an adjustment in that case. But if you are preparing financial statement for year ended 31 March 2020, then already those conditions are existing. And if any event due to these initiatives had a negative impact on your business, then this is providing you information about the condition that is existing at the end of your relevant reporting period, and then it is an adjusting event for you. So what you need to do is determine whether the event is occurring before the end of the reporting period or between the dates. If it is occurring between the dates, then it is covered under IAS 10. If it is occurring between these dates, is it providing information about conditions that existed at the end of the year, or is it providing information about condition that did not existed? If it is providing information that did existed, then it is an adjusting event and require adjustment in financial statements. Otherwise, it's a non-adjusting event and only require disclosure in notes to the account. What need to be disclosed is the nature of the event and the financial estimate. If the financial amount cannot be determined, then a statement that the financial estimate cannot be determined at this point of time needs to be disclosed along with the nature of the event. Now let's discuss a few examples. Legal cases, contingent liabilities. If your company has an open legal case, when at, at end of reporting period and as at that date, according to legal advisors, there are remote chances of it going against the company. That means at the end of the reporting period, it is a contingent liability, which only is requiring disclosure. But later on, before authorization of financial statements, a decision is announced which is not in the favor of the company. So what will be the accounting treatment? At reporting period and it was a contingent liability, only required disclosure. But now when you are authorizing financial statement, a decision by the court have already been announced and it is providing further information about a condition, about a legal case that was existing at the end of the reporting period. So guys, I hope you have already judged the treatment. As the condition was existing at the end of the reporting period and this decision is providing more information about that condition, it means it is an adjusting event. And as it is an adjusting event, it need to be adjusted in the financial statement. Liability and expenses will be recorded and adjusted accordingly. Bad debt. If your company with a reporting period ending on 31 December 2019 has USD 1 million receivable from a client, but on 25 January suddenly a fire burst out in the premises of the client. The client has suffered major losses and now you will be able to recover only 50% amount. Now what will be the treatment? Did you knew at 31 December that a fire will burst out at your plant premises which will hit the recoverability of your receivable? No. This condition did not exist at the end of the reporting period. So when it did not exist at the end of the reporting period, it is a non-adjusting event. It only requires disclosure in notes to the account. You will mention in notes to the account that this event had occurred with a client XYZ, which will have an impact of USD 500,000 on our receivables. I hope that it is very clear. Going concern. The simple principle about going concern. If before authorization of financial statement due to certain events, major losses, impairment losses, or any other things, you foresee that your business is not going to continue its operations for at least next 12 months, and the going concern is not valid, then this thing always requires adjustment in the financial statement. It is so material in nature. And if a going concern concept is not valid, you need to prepare accounts on breakup basis. not on going concern basis. Whenever going concern concepts become invalid in the financial statement have not already been authorized for issuance, you will be required to adjust your accounts. You need to learn, memorize this thing. So friends, I hope that we have covered IS 10 adequately. By listening our video, you will have learned the concepts covered in this standard. If there are any questions, please do post. I've shared my email address with you in my first slide, and you can always post your comments in the comment section. It is always very good to hear from you guys. Guys, coronavirus second wave is emerging. Coronavirus is still there, it's not gone. You need to maintain social distancing. You need to take good care of yourself and your families. You need to observe the guidelines issued by the government and health regulatory authorities. Friends, do keep us posted, keep engaged with us. We will be sharing more videos related to IFRS, cost accounting, internal auditing, financial management, and other areas. If there are any areas of interest that you want us to cover in advance, you can always require us through an email or through commenting in the comment section. Please subscribe to our channel because it will keep you notified whenever we bring next video for you. Take care. Bye bye for now. Thank you.